Good morning. It's Reads Urantia, and we're going to read the Urantia book. But first, we're going to read a little bit from. Oops. Yeah. God darn it. Okay. Okay. We're going to read from Light the Flame. I lost my place in this huge book. Wait. Right here. Okay. All right. It's okay. Everything's fine. Okay, we're going to read a little bit from Light the Flame by Andrew Harvey. This is by Patinathar. Patinathar. And there was actually two people by the name of Patinathar, I guess. Both were in India, both were Tamil, and this is unspecified. So there was one person in the 10th century named Patinathar, and another one in the 14th century named Patinathar. And both were religious kind of people, or had to do with, the first Patinathar was a poet who was wrote about the sacred Shaivite canon. I don't even know. Okay, so in the other Patinathar was something else again. Okay, was a religious, and both were Tamil. So it's like we don't even know. We don't know which one this is. But anyway, I'm going to read it. Okay, the wrong of ignorance, the wrong of thoughtlessness, the wrong of not having followed thee with a melting heart, the wrong of not having meditated upon thee, the wrong of not having prayed and worshipped thee. O Supreme Almighty, forgive me of all my wrongs. Okay, so this points to errors of omission, right? Because these are not things that this person has done wrong, but has failed to do, has failed to be thoughtful, has failed to be, has failed to pray. And I think that's really a huge, that's the problem I see today with people that have really rigid ideas of God and religion, is that they have this kind of preached to them, they have it kind of fed to them, and they don't take the time to think about it for themselves, about really what it means for them and the people around them, how it affects people. And they just they're not, they don't think deeply about things, but they're willing to sacrifice a lot for this superficiality, kind of this religion that's just fed to them, right? Okay, so I'm gonna so that's how we prevent that kind of destructive kind of unilateral kind of thinking, dogmatism, that's just that's kind of the dark face of religion. How we prevent that is by adopting habits of thinking deeply and meditating on things, and thinking about how our thoughts and our actions have the effect they have on other people around us and on the whole. Okay, not just on us. Okay, I'm going to read from the Urantia book now. Okay, so this is paper 15, the 7 super universes, and we're talking about nebulae, the ancestors of universes. It's very sciencey stuff here, so we're trying to break down really where universes come from, how are they structured, how are they made. Okay. While creation and universe organization remain forever under the control of the infinite creators and their associates, the whole phenomenon proceeds in accordance with an ordained technique and in conformity to the gravity laws of force, energy, and matter. But there is something of mystery associated with the universal force charge of space. We quite understand the organization of the material creations from the ultimatonic stage forward. But we do not fully comprehend the cosmic ancestry of the ultimatons. What is an ultimaton? Ultimatonic stage. We do not fully comprehend the cosmic ancestry of the ultimatons. Okay, there's this particle called the ultimaton. It's supposed to be the basis of all material. Yeah, you thought it was an atom. We thought it was an atom. And then we discovered quarks and stuff like this. Okay, so there's and then there's something sub to that. Right. Something of a mystery associated with the universal force energy charge. But these angels understand the ultimatonic stage forward, but smaller than the ultimaton, because there's something smaller than an ultimaton, then they don't understand it, right? Okay, so this is ultimatons. We are confident that these ancestral forces have a paradise origin because they forever swing through pervaded space in the exact gigantic outlines of paradise, though non-responsive to paradise gravity. This force charge of space, the ancestor of all materialization, does always respond to the presence of nether paradise because it's physical, right? Being apparently circuited in and out of the nether paradise center. Okay. Right. This is the force charge of space. Okay. The paradise force organizers transmute space potency into primordial force and evolve this pre-material potential into the primary and secondary energy manifestations of physical reality. When this energy attains gravity responding levels, the lower directors, the power directors, and their associates of the super universe regime appear upon the scene and begin their never-ending manipulations designed to establish the manifold power circuits and energy channels of the universes of time and space. Thus does physical matter appear in space, and so is the stage set for the inauguration of universe organization. Okay, so there's the power directors that are coming in here, but they have to wait till a certain stage till these things are responding to gravity. Right. When this energy attains gravity responding levels, because initially these ultimatons and whatever exists before them don't really respond, but they do respond to nether paradise gravity. Right. So they transmute the space potency into primordial force. So potency, like potentiality, like, right. Okay. This segmentation of energy is a phenomenon which has never been solved by the physicists of Nebadon. I love that they have physicists up there. They have physicists, just like we have physicists. Their chief difficulty lies in the relative inaccessibility of the Paradise Force organizers. Right. The Paradise Force organizers transmute space potency into primordial force. So we don't really, these guys operate in kind of secret stuff. It's kind of like, I don't know, because they're Paradise Force organizers. Right? Okay, their chief difficulty lies in the relative inaccessibility of the Paradise Force organizers for the living power directors, though they are competent to deal with space energy. They do not have the least conception of the origin of the energies they so skillfully and intelligently manipulate. Because there's a little bit of secrecy, I think, around these Paradise Force organizers. Right. Well, why shouldn't there be, right? These are tightly guarded secrets for a reason. Okay. Paradise Force organizers are nebulae originators. They are able to initiate about their space presence the tremendous cyclones of force, which, when started, can never be stopped or limited until the all-pervading forces are mobilized for the eventual appearance of the ultimatonic units of universe matter. Thus are brought into being the spiral and other nebulae, the mother wheels of the direct origin suns and their varied systems. In outer space, there may be seen 10 different forms of nebulae, phases of primary universe evolution. And these vast energy wheels had the same origin as did those in the 7 super universes. Okay. Okay. So once this starts, this process of creating matter and creating nebulae starts, it can't be stopped. And these all-pervading forces are mobilized for the eventual appearance of ultimatonic units of universe matter. And then we start it whirling around and creating, and it's self-sustaining after that. Okay, but how it begins is kind of a mystery. Nebulae vary greatly in size and in the resulting number and aggregate mass of their stellar and planetary offspring. A sun-forming nebula must just north of the borders of Orvonton, but within the super universe space level, has already given origin to approximately 40,000 suns. Okay, so does that mean this is included in the super universe or not? But it's to the north of the borders of Orvonton. But it's within the super universe space level. and the mother wheel is still throwing off suns, the majority of which are many times the size of yours. Some of the larger nebulae of outer space are giving origin to as many as 100 million suns. So these are big nebulae. These are big nebulae. Okay, and I would assume here that at some point this is just happening just north of Orvanton. At some point that's going to be encompassed within the realm of Orvanton when it gets going here. I mean, you can't just leave inhabited worlds out there stranded. They got to be part of some structure. Okay, so I imagine that's probably in the process. But anyway, this is all a process of creation, and it's ongoing. So creation isn't something that, okay, everything's created, done, like that. It's an ongoing thing. It's ongoing. Nebulae are not directly related to any of the administrative units, such as minor sectors or local universes, right? Although some local universes have been organized from the products of a single nebula. Okay? So these things are bigger than universes. You tend to think of a nebula as just like what, left over from a supernova or something like that. But they're using this as a big thing. And there can be a universes. Okay, right. Some local universes are organized from the products of a single nebula. Each local universe embraces exactly 100,000th part of the total energy charge of a superuniverse, irrespective of nebular relationship. For energy is not organized by nebula. It is universally distributed. Each local universe embraces exactly 1/100,000th part of the total energy charge of a superuniverse. Okay, so the energy charges here of the universes, and what exactly do they mean by energy charge? Right, I don't know. But there's something here that's divided equally. Well, so they're not favorites here, because wait, one universe, 10,000 worlds, 100,000. So there's like 100,000 universes in a super universe. Each local universe embraces actually right, because we're ensuring here that the universe, that the energy is equally distributed. So we're not playing favorites here among our universes. Okay? So irrespective of nebular relationship. Okay. Energy is universally distributed by these nebulae. Okay. Not all spiral nebulae are engaged in sun making. Some have retained control of many of their segregated stellar offspring, and their spiral appearance is occasioned by the fact that their suns pass out of the nebular arm in close formation, but return by diverse routes, thus making it easy to observe them at one point, but more difficult to see them when widely scattered on their different returning routes farther out and away from the arm of the nebula. Okay. Okay, so sometimes the stars and universes are still within the control of the nebula, but their spiral appearances. Okay. So it's hard to see them when they're on the edges of the arm, but then they get easier to see or something. One point, but more difficult to see them when widely scattered on their different returning routes. Okay, so the nebula sends them out and a singular arm, but then they all kind of come back their own way. There are not many sun-forming nebulae active in Orvonton at the present time, though Andromeda, which is outside the inhabited superuniverse, is very active. See, it's so wild because you can see the Andromeda galaxy. That's the Andromeda Nebula, the Andromeda galaxy. And they can see that. Astronomers can see that. Okay. So this far distant nebula is visible to the naked eye. And when you view it, pause to consider that the light you behold left those distant suns almost 1 million years ago. Holy smoke. Because we live on the edge of Orvonton, so we can see out into past the borders of Orvonton. Apparently so. Okay. So I don't know if Andromeda Nebula is inhabited or not, but it's very active in sun making. Then it would mean that probably it's not inhabited. Maybe it is. I don't know. The Milky Way galaxy is composed of vast numbers of formal, spiral, and other nebulae. Okay, so, and many still retain their original configuration. Okay, so remember what we think of as the Milky Way isn't a thing or a galaxy here the way they're referring to it. It's like an optical representation of a lot of things, because we're seeing very far into a lot of different things that look like it's one thing, but it's really not, because we're looking into the heart of everything, and it looks like one fuzzy band, but it's not a single universe even. It's like a band of stars. Some of them are closer, some of them are way far away, but there's a lot of stuff, right, that looks like it's all together like one thing, but it's not. Okay, so that's what they're saying, because we're used to thinking of the Milky Way like, well, that's what our galaxy is. No, that's not really it. Yeah, it's hard to come to terms with this. It's like, I don't know. Okay. The Milky Way is composed of vast numbers of former spiral and other nebulae, and many still retain their original configuration. But as a result of internal catastrophes and external attraction, Many have suffered such distortion and rearrangement as to cause these enormous aggregations to appear as gigantic luminous masses of blazing suns, like the Magellanic Cloud. Heard about it? I don't know. The globular type of star clusters predominates near the outer margins of Urantia. So there's spirals and there's globular types. So many of these internal catastrophes have suffered so normally they're like nice pretty spirals, but then they can get like mixed up by other things passing by through them and causing them to get messed up, and then they end up being this globular type deal, which is fine. I don't know if the spiral type is really preferred. That just means it hasn't seen as much action as the globular type things. The vast star clouds of Urantia should be regarded as individual aggregations of matter comparable to the separate nebulae observable in the space regions external to the Milky Way galaxy. Many of the so-called star clouds of space, however, consist of gaseous material only. So no stars in there. Many of the so-called star clouds of space, yep. The energy potential of these stellar gas clouds is unbelievably enormous. And some of it is taken up by near suns and redispatched in space as solar emanations. I don't know, you guys. Stellar gas clouds is huge, so there's a lot of energy potential. You know, there's so much going on out there in space. If I was an astrophysicist, I would grab onto this, but then I'd probably have so many arguments with it, and it'd be like overwhelming too, right? Because we only know partial bits of this. There was one guy I knew who actually died a couple of years ago, I think, that was a Urantian astronomer. It was so awesome. He'd bring his telescope to Urantia gatherings. It was so fun. But okay. There's a lot going on out there, and creation is happening all the time. It's exciting. It's, you know, it's really mind-boggling anyway. But I guess I gotta let it go for today. So I will see you again soon. All right. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.